and we specialize in quick trips on a budget. We recently took a trip to China and want to show you what we did in our 3 days in Beijing. From the iconic must-dos to some of the quieter spots in Beijing. We'll tackle the crowds and how to order food in the restaurants. We'll talk about communication and some unique issues we found. Beijing has a population of 22 million, and that may be why it's so automated and efficient. We had downloaded the DIDI app, which is Asia's answer to Uber, but it wasn't working right away for us, so we ended up taking a taxi to our hotel. We knew very little English would be spoken in Beijing, including our hotel staff, so we had our Google Translate and we used it all throughout China. We got our DIDI app working and we're off to central Beijing.
All right, our first excursion, we're heading to this temple behind us, Yonghe Temple, also known as the Lama Temple.
The easiest way to pay for things in China is through an app, and we used WeChat.
So this is the Yonghe Temple, also known as the Temple of Peace and Harmony. The history dates back to the 1690s when it was built. It is a place for pilgrims and tourists and historians alike. There are a ton of pilgrims that are burning incense in all of the different temples. And there are how many temples?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Too many for us to go in, put it that way. These temples are known as the most colorful temples in Beijing, and boy, are they.
After leaving one temple, we strolled down the street to the next temple. In every cultural site we went to in Beijing, we found people dressed in traditional clothing doing photo shoots.
By the way, you'll notice lots of people here. That's going to be the norm here in China. There's a lot of people. If you are bothered by people invading personal space, this is not the place to go. You're going to get bumped into, and you have to do a little bumping too if you want to get someplace you want to go.
A 15-minute DIDI ride brings us to a must-see destination, the Forbidden City. This massive structure is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world. We rented earbud audio guides as there's very little signage. The Forbidden City is the Imperial Palace complex and was home to 24 Ming and Qing dynasty emperors. This white walkway was for emperors only. complex is huge. We spent about 4 hours here. You could easily take a day if you want to see all of it. So intrigued by the people dressed up in traditional clothes and the shops that rented them that we stopped inside of one, and we were told it's a popular tradition for families to dress up in the clothes and have portraits made. Beijing has a lot of vending machines for snacks and goods, and they don't take cash. You'll need an app, and we used ALIPAY. Our first night in China, we cowardly ate dinner at our hotel, but those were the best dumplings on the entire trip. Along with thousands of other people, this morning we're heading to Tiananmen Square. This is the one place in Beijing that reminded us we were in a communist country. Someone here told us in Beijing there are no hidden spots. Check out the cameras. We took a public bus to some of Beijing's historic shopping streets. Restaurant menus can be hard to decipher, but we found most restaurants have pictures, and we just point, and everything we pointed at was delicious. We made a quick visit to the Olympic Park, which was host to the 2022 Olympics. It's a massive complex, and the jewel is the stadium called the Bird's Nest. But I was actually a little more interested in these Chinese magpies. And here are some future Chinese Olympians practicing. We attended a show that we highly recommend called the Golden Mask Dynasty. It's a blend of dance, acrobatics, and just general spectacle. We loved it. After this delicious hotel breakfast, we jumped on a bus tour and headed to China's #1 tourist site, the Great Wall of China.
Let's go.
Why'd they have to build them so steep?
What a day. We made it here and climbed the Great Wall of China. Not bad. We saw maybe a mile or 2 miles of the 13,000 miles. This thing that was built over 2,000 years ago. The part that we're on was only built 1300s to 1600s by the Ming Dynasty.
My one regret is not buying this t-shirt. The Summer Palace is an imperial palace, but it's best known for its man-made lake and traditional Chinese gardens. That wraps up our 3 days in Beijing. We do have some final thoughts and tips for you. The traffic in Beijing is terrible. Use DIDI for efficient transportation. We've talked about the crowding and bumping, but most Chinese won't look strangers in the eye. It's not rudeness, it's just cultural. Most public restrooms in Beijing are squat toilets. Ladies, I would recommend wearing dresses and building up those thigh muscles. I did not care for it. Be adventurous with the food. Point to the pictures of what you want and try new things. It's all delicious. And make sure you try the Peking duck. You'll need a translation app for communication. There's very little English spoken. Download an app for purchases. The apps we recommend are DIDI, Google Translate, ALIPAY, and WeChat. You can download those before you go. You will need a Chinese visa. We recommend starting the process 3 to 4 months before you travel. You can do it yourself or go through a visa agency like we did. Stay tuned for our next video where we explore smaller Chinese cities such as Wuxi, Suzhou, Hangzhou, and Shanghai. If you have the opportunity to visit China, we highly recommend a trip to this fascinating and cultural country. And please, subscribe for more quick trips.